Hello everyone. Today's title would be the Pantheon of Heroes. And what that could immediately mean is that the hero in you can see itself through another in the halls of where it deserves to be. You see, guys, when we have emotions, there are still thoughts surrounding it. What a lot of people don't recognize is that when the emotion gets intense, you're actually in a very creative state, regardless. You're just having an energy, and this energy is expressing through you based on how you are holding everything together. And what that means is that your memories, your awareness, your sense of what is real and what is not is really what is working for you. So you don't really want anything from outside that much. You really want to just be really observant to how you're looking at things and to see who you are. Once you go within, in a sense, you see that the human being, even though he has legs, if he chooses to be still, can also get the clarity of the world. You're not alone here. No being is. Because fundamentally all beings recognize that their movement is originating now, and every moment is an experience of now. Now, the combination of what's in the moment is a very fascinating idea, and I have not heard a lot of people talk about it, but I'm pretty sure everyone experiences it this way. Because what happens is that when we, for example, read poetry, is that different images from different areas are being thrown, as if the speaker is taking you to your immediate place where you are now, then flying you to perhaps Saturn's ring. And as you sit there, you look back at who you were, and you find yourself in your past. You see, the mind can be playful, imagery can be playful. Once you allow yourself, fear becomes a distraction for you. Do you recognize this? You don't have, in a sense, time for fear. And this really, I think, falls along the rapper mentality. Because rappers are great achievers in just doing something, for example, regardless of whether it's ethical or not. Achievement is simply you saying, I want to cause this, and actually following and kind of going through your unknown, you know? In other words, no longer having a comfort zone, just continue your walk, you know? And if you like, you can run. And what I mean by that is that your motivation comes from the value and of how real you have heard the bells of your ambition. You need to, in a sense, just not wake up as if you're Neo in the Matrix. No, okay? Neo was scripted differently. You are you, and work with yourself, and then if there is anything else, compare it. A lot of people compare others to themselves. And what that means is that you're first beginning with the reality of someone else being more able than yours. And that postulate never needs to be posted. If you recognize that your power, your ability is within you, it is directly here, and there is no reason for you, or there is no reason that you cannot have a direct experience of your moment, clearly, without disruption, without distraction. This was the perfectly imperfect lesson of the mind. You will see that you will feel different, as if your ideas have changed once you look at the same idea again with the same application of design. A very interesting phenomena happens in the mind of an explorer where he suddenly sees that patterns are changing, so there are infinitely new patterns. So there are many ways my conversation right now could take place. Now, how can I be aware of these? Can I be a creator in which while he's speaking, he's also experiencing the imagery from different states, different points of view? Can our self-awareness show us a movement of intelligence never seen before? And so the treasure revealer is born here within you. You realize a treasure revealer knows that he has a treasure, but he has not revealed it to himself. You do not know the ability you have, because you won't know it in single moments. It's not a snapshot. Your greatest ability comes where you're so involved in life that you are selfless, that you cannot see yourself. You're a leader that has given yourself to the cause of that betterment. And with that, you realize it's important for people to take life seriously. And by seriously means really looking and being aware of where they are. Self-awareness is a very bright tool, and it leads to many things. Many people are fascinated by superpowers. But what if you could just go see what is the essence of power in general? What is there beyond the shape of definition? What happens when I throw the dictionary into the clouds? Where does it land? Where does every seed planted in the moment sprout? The shift from person to presence, as many have said, is simply really looking at life and really seeing what it means to you. And you will see that you don't know what it means to you because you haven't seen enough to actually know it. And you know what I mean? It's a conscious seeing. In other words, don't think you're a blind man if you've seen it before. Don't push away the imagery that comes to you because of your certain view on it. Simply just let it be and look at it. What that means is that you don't go, hold the blue jay in front of you in your hand, in your palm to look at it closely. You look at its elegance by not leaving it alone and watching how it's naturally flowing. Man must learn of how nature is moving. In other words, what is the intelligence that brings the seasons beyond the linear way we understand it? No idea is wrong if it is the idea presented anew. A new idea contains all other ideas. It is your torch and the torch passed down. Find a sense of balance, and you will see that the balance comes from not even searching in a way for the search. That sentence may be for certain people. Look at wisdom and see what it means. Nobody is trying to change your world. It is you who is allowing any change, if so. What that means is take responsibility for everything that happens. Take responsibility for your not knowing. Take responsibility for the greatest treasures that one can reveal through emptiness. Do not shape your salvation because your intelligence fluctuates into many blissful realities. And so we can try to be very strategic with this, and in a sense try to create a ladder into explaining different altered states of consciousness. We need to be able to communicate these and to, in a sense, see that humanity is not wasting its time. It is perfectly on schedule and some big things are happening. In other words, I am not walking in a world that is, in a sense, lost. I am walking in a world that is not just only found, but it is found anew infinitely, instantly, all the time. And with that, there can be no blocks when your vision is very high. When your vision is as free as perhaps the eagle when he's flying off the branch and ascending into the limitless sky. You will see throughout this journey many guests will visit you. One of them is guilt. One of them is fear. One of them is not knowing. One of them is dissolution. One of them is transformation. And there are many more. There are ones who are just of compassion, one of love, one of bliss, one of transcendence. These are all shapes that you will confront as you look observantly at what is alive here where you're standing. And so as you confront these shapes, they really go back to how you were molded. So how you were molded goes back and changes into certain generalities. So if I could explain this better and very simply, think about it this way, that if we were a rational being and we were looking at something, and if we were inside the eyes of another greater rational being, and if that being was inside another eye of another greater rational being, you see that the attention of collective consciousness is always there, regardless of how we segment it in regards to space and time. So you will see that these guests will, in a sense, be shapes where you're, in a sense, leaving the consciousness that is associating with the space and time of your limitations and kind of flowing away into that natural state where even you did not need to create words, you did not need to name yourself, you just walked nameless and knowingly. And so you were expressed in the most openest way, most fluent way. The being that allows himself the ability of the instant or the ability of the moment is one who is allowing himself to immediately evaporate into a sky that will lead to the experience of any drop it wants. You will really see how there is something within you that is untouched, and this would inspire you. If this is the fuel of how you will become motivated. And through madness, many things have crumbled, but also many treasures have been revealed. And so these guests will be noise that is trying to do its own thing. And so it is you who gets distracted. So your guests, for example, let's say the guest of hate comes. And this guest, you will hate this guest. But you will see, because it is a guest in your house, you will respect it. Do you know? So I am compassionate to every being because every being is a guest in my moment. Every form is a guest in my moment. And so when I'm here, reality is a mighty roar that never needed to let the mouth of the lion open. You will see that presence communicates much stronger than our assumptions of what's going to happen next through segmented views. Intuition is the next teaching, or in a sense, the next teaching that doesn't have a teacher. It is just a teaching of remembrance and awareness. In other words, there's some things people can teach you, for example, your teacher at school or at many other places or even family or whatnot, but there is a teaching here that is too natural to be taught. In other words, the minute you think about what you have to learn, you're so far because you're not seeing it. It is not something to learn. It is something to be aware of and to simply see that the awareness was always there. Omniscience gives you the gift of having the ability to confront more of your reality. Because you recognize that all those limitations which are trying to make you protect yourself are not required when you are aware of the presence that you are, the light that walks with you. Much blessings and namaste.